Yo, what's going on, everyone? This is Austin from Calling Our Shot. Week 7 of the NFL season is here, and here are my best bets. 2 spreads, 2 player props, 2 over-unders, and 1 teaser coming your way. Our Moneyline Parlay has cashed in 2 straight weeks, and that video will be live Saturday night, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Click that subscribe button and click that like button too. It helps us grow the community, and we can't do it without your guys' love and support. Also, check out our daily NBA best bets videos, as well as our baseball ones. We've been killing it, and you see the record on the screen for the NFL. We've been doing pretty well this season. Last week we were 8-9, but we'll get after it this week. And be sure you're following us on all social platforms. We like to release more plays on there once we get some injury statuses, ins and outs. Now let's get it started. We're talking about the Houston Texans. I'm taking their team total under 14.5 points, minus 125 on DraftKings. Now, this could very well be Davis Mills' last game starting in the NFL. This guy, I don't know, I believe Tyrod Taylor should be back soon. The Texans are sitting at 17.5 point underdogs on the road versus the only unbeaten team in the NFL, the Arizona Cardinals. And Davis Mills, to say he's not been great on the road would be an understatement. In 2 career games on the road, he's only managed 3 points. He managed 0 points against Buffalo, a big goose egg, and then 3 points last week against the Indianapolis Colts. Cardinals defense has quietly been pretty decent. They've held 3 teams below this number this season. The Titans, the 49ers, and the Browns, doing it in back-to-back games with the 49ers and Browns. I like them to hold the Texans under this team total, under 14.5 points. I think they can do it. You think about the Cardinals, they'll get ahead with Kyler Murray, AJ Green, DeAndre Hopkins taking it on his old team as well. Once the Cards get up, they'll just pound James Conner and Chase Edmonds. So I like it. Chew the clock, and we're taking it. Another over-under, talking about the Detroit Lions. They've taken their under 17.5 points team total, minus 125 on DraftKings. Now, I wanted to give you guys some more over-unders like for full game, but this was the most confident one I'm in, and I want to give you guys confident bets that I really like. Here's a stat for you. The Lions have not scored more than 17 points in 5 straight games. They did it in week 1 against the 49ers. Yeah, they haven't broke 17 in 5 straight. And the Rams have held 2 consecutive teams under this total, the Giants last week and the Seahawks the week before. Now, the Rams have one of the best defenses in the NFL, and they're taking on their former quarterback, Jared Goff, who I believe Sean McVay knows better than the back of his hand. You think about it, he'll know how to make Jared Goff uncomfortable in the pocket. Just send Aaron Donald at him, release the dogs, release the hounds. I like the Lions team total under because I just don't know how they're going to put up points against this defense without any wide receiver production. And then you just got TJ Hawkinson and the 2 running backs running around out there. And they're traveling to Los Angeles where there's plenty of distractions. I'll take the under for the Detroit Lions, under 17.5 points, team total. Now, I don't mind it at 17. I probably wouldn't take it at 16.5, but that's just my thoughts. Now, here comes some player props. Leonard Fournette, over 64.5 rushing yards, minus 115 on DraftKings. Now, Fournette has taken this job, the starting running back for the Buccaneers, ran away with it. He's played over 60% of the snaps the last 3 weeks. Ronald Jones, on the other hand, under 20% in all 3 games. Fournette's rushed for 92, 67, and 81 rushing yards the last 3, cashing the over in 3 straight games. Now, the best part, the matchup against the Bears is very, very good. Now, Bears, they're okay defense, but they've been giving up running backs just going on an absolute field day. In 5 of their 6 matchups this season, the Bears have allowed at least 1 running back to go over 64.5 yards. Let's list them, and I'll put a picture of them on the right. Darrell Henderson, he did in week 1. Joe Mixon, week 2. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt in week 3. Jamal Williams in week 4. Now, the week 5 was against the Raiders, who were down all game, so they didn't run the ball. Week 6, Aaron Jones and his counterpart almost got it, missed by 6 yards, A.J. Dillon. Now, you see the success rate. You see Fournette. He's earned Brady's trust, and I think you look at it, the Chicago Bears defense is going to say, please run the ball. We don't want Brady throwing it deep on us, so I think they'll be begging him, and I think they'll be feeding Fournette, and he should have another good day. Positive game script as you look at the Bucs. They're 12.5 point favorites in this one. Take it, lock it in. Another guy, another running back, Cordarrelle Patterson, over 80.5 rushing plus receiving yards, minus 115 on DraftKings. Now, if you don't have the combined line, I would probably take his rushing line, and we'll get into that in a second. Now, Cordarrelle has been a revelation this year. He's been just blowing off the charts, not only in bets, but also in fantasy football. As we cashed this bet in regular football last week and 2 weeks ago, as they were on a bye last week, but over his last 3 games, Cordarrelle's been insane. Here's his rushing and receiving combined total: 114, 116, 102 yards, easily crushing the over. You look at the Falcons coming off a bye as they played in London 2 weeks ago, and what are you going to do? Not use Cordarrelle Patterson, who's been one of the most unique weapons in the NFL? I don't think so. Now, you look at it even more importantly, the Dolphins could have their cornerbacks back. Xavier Howard and Byron Jones both missed last week, did not travel to London when they took on the Jaguars. Now, they could be back, and that could limit Calvin Ridley's production, and even Kyle Pitts, who lines up a lot outside. Most importantly, Dolphins are getting gashed by opposing running backs. Let's get into it. Last week, they gave up 101 total yards to James Robinson. Week before, 110 to Leonard Fournette, plus another 71 to Ronald Jones and Giovanni Bernard. Week 4, 114 total yards to Jonathan Taylor. Week 3, 114 combined to Peyton Barber, 57 to Kenyon Drake. Week 2, 125 to Devin Singletary and Zach Moss. And then week 1, 117 to Damian Harris and 61 to James White. You get the point. They've been brutal to opposing running backs, and now traveling from London. Don't love that on a short week. Give me Cordarrelle Patterson's over in rushing plus receiving 80.5. We're in spread time. Colts plus 4.5 versus San Francisco 49ers minus 110 on DraftKings. Now, might not be a popular pick. Maybe you want to come at me in the comments. Either way, you can do that because I haven't been doing too well on spreads so far. But the 49ers are a complete mess. They got a ton of injuries all around the field. Not got a lot of running backs, although Elijah Mitchell should be back. George Kittle, he's out there. He will not be there. He's on IR. Ross Dwelley really will be out there. Kyle Juszczyk. Those are the two leading receivers, basically, and Deebo Samuel, because Brandon Ayuk, he's APB out for him. But the Colts, they've quietly looked good this season. Now, you look at the 49ers, the only two teams they've beaten are the Eagles and the Lions. They're 2-3 on the season, coming off their bye. But the Colts, they had a win and slipped through their fingers a couple weeks ago against the Ravens, who are looking like an absolute AFC juggernaut. And they have a good running game led by Jonathan Taylor. 49ers have lost 6 straight home games where they find themselves today at home. Colts are 4-1 against the spread in the last 5 games overall this season, and 5-2 against the spread in their last 7 games versus the 49ers. I like what I've seen out of the Colts. I like their defense. I think they can hold the 49ers, in check. This is a Sunday night football game. Could be a close one, and I'm taking it. And I also have said on the podcast, the Colts, the last time they were 1-4, they made the playoffs. That was a couple years back. So lock in those futures right now while it's good value, and we'll take it. Moving on to my second spread pick before we get into the teaser. I'm taking the Chiefs, minus 4.5, minus 110 on FanDuel. Now the line, sometimes it's sitting at 5, 5.5. I like it at all of the lines, but I'm just going to take what the best value is, and that is at FanDuel at the moment. Now you look at it, people will see the Chiefs favored by basically the same number that the Bills were favored. And the Bills, they lost outright. And the Bills had just smashed the Chiefs team, and then they come into Nashville, Tennessee. They lose outright to the Tennessee Titans. I can see a lot of people saying, you know what, no, taking the Titans here, taking their spread. Chiefs has not looked good all year, but I think that's where they're fooled. The last time these two teams played was back in the playoffs in 2020. Chiefs won by 11 points. Now, at some point, I don't know when, but you can't just pound Derrick Henry into the ground week in and week out. All it takes is the Chiefs to get up by 2 scores early. Titans won't know what hit them. And I'm going to take the Chiefs minus 4.5 and not think twice. It should be a really good game, one of the best games on the slate. So I'll take the Chiefs to win. And what should be a high-scoring game over under 57.5 points. Insane. Teaser time. Here we go. 7-point teaser going plus 120. 7 points. Packers minus 0.5. The under 49.5 in the Jets, Patriots, and Rams minus 8.5. Now the Packers taking on a Washington football team that, sorry, Washington fans, you guys have not looked good. And they're playing in Lambeau Field. Packers should have no trouble winning this game. Now, the under 49.5 in the Jets-Patriots game, yeah, this game could very well be a pillow fight, and I don't mind the actual over-under. Jets are traveling to Foxborough, coming off their bye. Zach Wilson hasn't looked great, but their Jets defense has been serviceable. Now, 50 points is a lot of points for a normal game, and let alone these two teams. So I'll take the under 49.5. I like that. Pretty safe bet there. Now, the other last leg, Rams minus 8.5. You're asking for a lot of points, but it's a revenge game. Like I talked about earlier, Jared Goff returning to LA, and Stafford going up against the team that he spent his whole career with prior to this season. The Lions got beat up last week, and Goff looked terrible. Even Dan Campbell was saying Goff needs to step up and play better. Now you look at it, the NFL team that knows Jared Goff better than anyone, that would be the LA Rams led by Sean McVay. I think they'll roll in this one at home. Like I said, the Lions have really struggled. So I'll be taking the Rams to roll in this one, kind of shut down that Lions offense, and that defense has not looked good the past couple weeks. Check out our daily NBA Best Bets videos on the screen, as well as the podcast. Make sure you're checking out all the videos. See you Saturday night for some more plays. Check out Logan's videos as well. Parlays, player props coming your way. This has been Austin. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace!